Shall we get started? So the name of the idea is Polyglot. And does anyone have any idea about what polyglot means? Yeah? Not many wives. One who knows many languages. That's polygamy. This is polyglot. So the idea came up when we were actually making choices for our e-directory going on cloud. So we were actually discussing about using multiple languages like Python, Java, Go, even to some extent Ruby on Rails as well. So we had to make choices in these languages. So since I already had some knowledge on Ruby, Go and Java, the syntaxes were confusing. So I thought, how about making a syntax cheat sheet? And then I realized that it could be used in a broader picture, which I'm going to show you now. So you see, there are different sets of bikes. I love bikes. The first one is the bike which I own. The others I love to own. So supposing, say, you have a garage and you have all these bikes with you. Now you need to make a choice which one to use for what purpose. For example, for the first one is CBR 150R, probably I'll use it for a city ride as well as a long trip. The second one, KTM 390, primarily for track purpose. Himalayan, I could use it for say primarily for off-road, for any other purpose as well. Harley for long rides, right? So while I could use anything for everything, each one has a specific purpose of its own. So knowing which one fits where helps you choose the one when you have everything. So now going to a web app development, like how you move your products to cloud. So storage is typically your product as such, whatever we have, like an e-directory or something. But typically in a web app, you would have to make choices in each level. For example, you would have to choose between a relational database, a NoSQL document-oriented database, graph database, and you would have to make choices where to store your files, Amazon S3 or where to store your photos as well. For example, there is a service called Cloudinary, which is very good for storing your photos. It provides dynamic transformations and everything, including your videos. Because you need to show your photos, thumbnail version of your photo, a bigger version, and a full screen version when a user touches the mobile app or a web UI. And similarly, you would have to make choices in the application server as well, which is where the web frameworks come into picture. And not all web frameworks have web servers embedded into it, like programming language like Go. And then you will have a website UI wherein your JavaScript libraries will come into picture, AngularJS, React.js, Backbone.js, all those things. And then in terms of mobile app, you have to make a choice between going with a hybrid app or a native app. So the idea was that I'll make several choices for these. And while making these several choices, often what we do is we go into different blogs. And Stack Overflow, Quora, all those things. And often we find probably the ones which have higher number of votes in Stack Overflow might be outdated. It might be a 2010 answer, and a blog might be a 2011 blog. And we can't make choices using those. And those contents needs to be preserved in a updated manner collaboratively. Not everybody will have knowledge about everything. Say, for example, I may not have enough knowledge about React.js or Backbone.js. Probably in our company, AngularJS is the preferred one. I may choose that directly. So it has to go in a collaborative manner. That's when the wiki comes into picture. And I'll show you a small demo as to what I've done. So I've created a small, okay, just a minute. How do we get this screen on top? Okay. I've created a small wiki in GitHub. The primary intent of this is to share this information collaboratively and update it collaboratively. And there's an example for that which is already available. It is the Android guides. So you see the number of stars here, 13,000, and it is maintained in a collaborative fashion by the community. You will find all the latest tools available there, and it is maintained collaboratively. It is almost always up to date. So the idea of the key is similar to that. Say you have the same architecture. The screen? Was the slide shared? This is again. Now? Yeah, now I got it. You got it? Yeah. So it's like this. So as you all know from Wikipedia, you can access through links, and you can go on an unintrusive manner. So the first part is about questions and concerns. These are the questions and concerns one has to answer before starting any prototype. It could be a web development or a product development for a enterprise. These are the questions which one has to answer. What kind of application is it? And while choosing a community framework, you need to see what are the batteries available within the framework, the amount of GitHub stars, the last release made, the last commit made, and who's the one who's maintaining the library. For example, for Android, if a library is maintained by Foursquare, it is the best one. You can always trust it. So you have to choose it. And you have to see the performance and scalability, developers available in the market, ease of development and providing updates, and a choice of database, wherein you have to make a choice between a relational database and a document-oriented database. Usually the relational databases are asset compliant, which means if I'm developing a financial application, I would always go with SQL. And I would not trust document-oriented database for such things. But they find your own space in terms of activity feed, wherever you want the performance and scalability to come into picture. And I have not much used graph database, so I just put placeholders. And as you can see, the references are from articles which are from 2013 and 15. That's where the concern comes. And you can make a choice between the programming languages. For example, Python and Ruby are primarily suited for rapid development, and the applications which are written in Python and Ruby, once the data grows, they are not particularly scalable, and people often move to Java, Go, or Erlang for the purpose. And the specialty of Go is that you have a single binary, low compilation times. The dependency management is easy. You can provide updates very fast. The Go routines are cheap. Concurrency is built in within the language. It's so wonderful with Go. But then you may not have a lot of support libraries available. You would have to look into GitHub for a lot of those purposes. And Java, as you know, it has been for a while, and it's used for high performance and scalability. And this can be extended for other languages like using of Erlang, Scala, etc. And it has been driven through a community. And since I have a lot of background in open source and I've been working with SUSE for 7.5 years, I know how to work with the community, and that's where the idea came up from. So then, and as you go there, as you learn these programming languages, often you may get confused with the syntax, and that's where I have created a cheat sheet here. It's kind of a syntax cheat sheet, and it's a single-paged one. As you go through it, you will get a complete knowledge of what the language provides. It's kind of a revision, and then you can start prototyping on whatever language you choose. So, for example, if you have chosen Django or Flask, you just go through it, and go through the web framework and start developing on it. And you have the web framework. More often, as you go through the web frameworks, their scalability and performance is directly related to their language. So if you have developed using Python or Rails, the scalability also of the framework is also less. If you have developed using a language like Java, as in with Play Java or Go, the scalability is good and very high. And the frameworks which have been developed using Scala also falls in the same play. And you go into the particular framework, again you will have basics of the framework and the qualities of the framework. Say the directory structure supported. So the best thing about Rails is web development. If you are beginning with web development, Rails is the best for it. And they follow something called convention over configuration, which means they make the choices for you. They have researched and made the best choices for you, and it is easy for you to learn. For example, the whole directory structure is created for you, like this. You need not even worry where to put what. And so simple, you can just directly go and code, and it has a lot of magical code in it, and so wonderful to code. And then once you have got an idea about web development as such, then you can probably switch to Python or any other language. You know how to modelize the code, how to maintain the code, how to split the code between developers as well. Yeah. And then you can make a choice between the web UI as such. There are many choices here: AngularJS, Ember.js. I would have to fill in data for that. We need some help. And then there is a choice between a native and a hybrid. There are a lot of hybrid platforms for mobile, and there's a choice which we have to make for it as well. Xamarin is one of the companies which was found from Novel. It found its birth in Novel. The guys who was in Zimian, who are working Mono project, have created this, and I guess it has been acquired by Microsoft. And then the deployment concerns. You can choose an infrastructure as a service like a EC2 or something, or a platform as a service like Heroku. I mean, for which the deployment time just takes around 10 minutes if you want to deploy a Rails or Go app. It's that easy. And you have a free tier in Heroku, and for a EC2 instance or Amazon S3 instance, you have around 1 year free, free of charge buckets. You can use them. And this is the idea. So this is what it addresses. Probably I'll blog around, and all those people who are interested in and can collaborate and send some GitHub pull requests, we can join together and build it. And probably it will benefit the community also. And try to maintain kind of a structure here so that you put in the data and also try to give proper references to it, so that it's not just your opinion, but something backed by somebody. That's it.